Welcome, traveler. The fire still burns, but the night lingers. Some lessons come quietly, others press down until you move. A roof is more than timber and stone. It is the difference between waiting and enduring. And in Brackenfall, even rest must be haunted. Episode 4: Shelter is Earned. Morning came thin and grey. Mist clung low to the overflow lot, wrapping canvas and boots alike in damp silence. Callan rose stiffly from the ground, joints protesting as he stepped out into the cold air. Around them, other tents were already being struck, people moving before the town decided for them. Alira joined him, rubbing warmth into her hands. "One night," she said quietly. "They meant it." Silas crawled free next, scowling. "If I sleep on dirt again, it'll be by choice." Aaron scanned the stockade line. "Then we don't waste time." They split after breakfast. Callan and Alira headed back toward the supply quarter, following the same streets they'd walked the night before. If anyone knew where a roof could still be bought, it would be the ones selling canvas to the desperate. The shopkeeper barely looked up at Callan when he asked, "Rooms?" He scoffed. "Huh. Not unless you know someone or own stone." Alira tilted her head. "And stone that no one wants." That earned a pause. "There's a place," the man admitted. "Outskirts of town. Been empty a long while. Too much work. Too many problems." Callan exchanged a glance with Alira. "Where?" The man shrugged. "Past the wall. Not far. Close enough that people pretend it's still Brackenfall." The man grabbed a piece of parchment and wrote down the directions to the house and handed it to Callan and said, "Good luck to the both of ya." They found Silas and Aaron just as they were leaving the split pine, the tavern's door swinging shut behind them as laughter spilled briefly into the street. "Any luck?" Silas asked. Callan nodded and handed Silas a rough set of directions, charcoal marked on scrap parchment. "We have one lead, outside the wall." Silas studied it once and smirked, then nodded and handed Alira the parchment. "Close enough to matter and far enough that no one wants it." Alira folded the parchment carefully. "Let's see where this takes us." The path thinned as they passed beyond Brackenfall's outer gate. The wall fell behind them, not far, but far enough to be felt. The sounds of the town dulled, replaced by wind through grass and the distant creak of timber. A low stone wall soon came into view, half swallowed by weeds. A broken gate hung open. Beyond it, a cobblestone path wound through an overgrown yard toward a sagging house that had not yet given up. Callan stepped at the threshold. "This is what hesitation looks like," he said quietly. Alira nodded. "But it's still standing." And that, for now, was enough. The yard was wide, overgrown but alive. Apple trees stood at the far end, their branches heavy with small green fruit. Alira exhaled slowly. "Food," she murmured. Inside, dust lay thick, broken furniture slumped against the walls. The house smelt of age not wrought. The roof sagged but held. It has potential, Callan said. On the doorframe, nailed beneath a wrapped plank, hung a weathered scrap of parchment. Lyra read it aloud. Inquiries. Directed to Helvin Ma, Dark Quarter. They left the house with more hope than certainty. At midday, they regrouped at the split pine, taking a small table outside while they waited for food. The sounds of the town pressed close, voices, boots on stone, steel shifting against leather. Erin leaned back in her chair, eyes on the street. So, that's it, she said. A house no one wants, past the wall, no one watches. Callan nodded. Better than canvas. Silas cracked a grin. And better than waking up with something chewing on your boots. Lyra unfolded the scrap of parchment again, reading the name once more, if weighing it. Helvin Ma, she said. Dark Quarters. She looked up. If he's still working. If he's not, Silas replied, then the house really is cursed. There turned a faint smile. Callan rested his hands on the table, the decision settling into him with quiet certainty. We don't have another night to waste, he said. We go to the docks. We hear him out. And if he wants more than coin, Erin asked. Callan stood. Then we find out what shelter costs. The four rose together, leaving their meal unfinished. Beyond the tavern, the river waited, dark, slow-moving, crowded with ships that creaked like tired animals at rest. The Dark Quarter lay ahead, thick with the smell of tar and wet wood. Somewhere among it all was a man who still held the key to a house no one else would claim. And by nightfall, Brackenfall would decide whether they belonged beneath a roof or beneath the open sky. The fire fades, but the night does not. This tale will continue. Until then, keep your blade close and your eyes open.